What's up, everybody? This is week 13 of the Pitside podcast, or at least I think it's week 13.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. Week 15.
Yeah, and so this week we're going to talk to Steve Shaw Jr. We're going to talk to Terry Landis, finally. I owed him an interview here because we canceled one out before. And then we're going to get into some of the stuff we have coming up, as well as Championship Week, which is currently ongoing. Looking forward to it.
Welcome to the Pitside Podcast, where we discuss the latest news and developments in the G-Force Racing League, as well as other racing news inside and out of iRacing. Now here's your hosts, the A-Lit Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, and Roger, the Bassman Craig.
So what's going on, Roger? How are things going?
Well, I'm glad you asked, actually, because things are going great for me. So I've really realized that I love the fixed leagues because it's a real laid-back divisions. But in the last 2 days, I've had 3 top 10 finishes, and anybody that's on the track with me knows that's a big deal. A couple of them were like, if they weren't hard charger, they were almost hard chargers. So I think I had 2 P7s and a P10. I think the P10 was tonight in the midgets. I started 22nd and finished 10th, right behind you, man.
Yeah.
So that's for me. You saying what's going on and it's good. That's definitely good. I've had a good week, for a change.
Yeah, I almost started off by asking you how was your Thanksgiving, and then it reminded me that you guys up there celebrate a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's not top of mind, I suppose. But
no, not.
Yes.
Might have been why I was doing well. Is all the guys are still a little heavy for last weekend.
Might have been. Yeah, and I broke out my midget tonight too. Usually I'm practicing for elite, but I figured we usually double that for the team, right? In practice because it's the following Monday is for the same track. But I knew since I'm the only one in elite, I just figured I'd go ahead and skip practice and run midgets with Terry since he was running for a championship and just have a little pal around with you guys. But finished okay. What
No, and I think, man, kudos to you, buddy. You just scraped in to get into the elite division, and you finished 8th.
Yep.
So I think it was 8th, right?
Yeah.
8th. We looked at the numbers tonight. Yeah.
It was 8th, and I did scrape to get in. I was pretty. I think if I'd gone back and did it again, I missed one race, which really heavily affected me because it's only 6. I think it was six races, right? 6 or 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
8 or 9. It might be 9 at the most.
I know it was an even number, but
okay.
But I know I missed one race, which really affected me. And then towards the end, I actually thought that I was not going to be able to make it in based on IL because I had a couple of rough races. Actually, we had a couple of races early in the qualifiers where we had a couple of guys who ended up being removed because they not driving the way we needed people to drive. And I had been a bit of a victim of that. So I had a couple of nights of IL that were over like 0.5. And so I had tried to do the math and calculate it and didn't think I was going to be able to make it in that last race of the qualifying series. I just phoned it in and rode around at the back and barely scraped my way in and got in with the .249. So I did barely get in, but I was pretty confident going in that I'd be competitive. I did not think I'd finish 8th, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think some of it is based on other people's attendance a little bit. It's not as well attended as Renegades, but still, I'm pretty happy about that. And I'm as far as the front runners go, we've got some really talented guys up there. It's exciting.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And I got to call you out too, actually, when you asked me how my week's going, because Monday night was a bit of a challenge. So Monday night, I'm in that boat. I'm struggling to stay in the B division. So the Rebels, the IL limit is .225, and that's never been a problem for me. But I'm at .217. I had 8 races in. I had no drop weeks. There was no way I was going to get. So everything I've done would count. So I don't know if everybody's familiar, but if we do 2 drop weeks based on points. But if your IL is kind of borderline, we'll take your worst 2 ILs off to try to get everybody to the right side of the curve. I didn't have that leeway because I didn't have those extra races. So I was going to take the night off. There's a lot going on. A lot going on Monday night. We're broadcasting all three divisions. There's, it's championship night. There's all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, I had plenty I could do. But you went on the one broadcast and called me out and you forced me to go. So now I'm in panic mode. I didn't have my VR. I was running off triples, which I haven't run in ages. So I didn't, and it's a big difference. So I didn't feel like I was immersed in it. And I'm just driving around trying not to bounce off stuff. And I ended up the season at the same .217. So I survived. But I thought I was going to kill you if I end up, because the racing's so good now in the Raiders division. If I get down there, I'll never get out. I got to stay in B, because if I go down to C, I'll never get back, because there's so many good guys in our league now.
Yeah, and you know what? Before this season, and again, we'll talk to Terry a little bit about it, who's on our team as well. But until this season, when we started really committing to practicing and getting setups fine-tuned, I've really kind of felt the same way. I was dreading dropping the Rebels because I didn't think there was any way I could get out. I think I've been able to up my competition level here, at least towards the end of the season. I've been doing a lot better. But Volusia didn't go too well. But outside of that, I've had pretty good runs. But yeah, it's intimidating, right? I mean, it can be really kind of devastating to fall down. But anyway, we're kind of rambling on here. We'll come back and talk about this here in a little bit in a few minutes. But why don't we jump over? We're going to talk to Stephen Shaw Jr. We're making that clarification. There are several Shaws in our league, and any of the guys up that watch us up around the Oshwegan Speedway and the Ontario area may realize that all those guys race in real life as well. So we're going to talk to Stephen Shaw Jr. We'll get a little clarification on who he is on the family tree, and we'll come back here in a few minutes.
And we're here with Steve Shaw Jr. We should point out Jr., because I think he started in the league racing his dad's account or something. So, and there's so many bloody Shaws in the league, I can never keep it straight. We were down Merrittville and had the pleasure of meeting all these guys, and they're just like it's Shaws running all over the place. It's like watching the midgets tonight. They're just moving all over the place, and they're all driving all four of them are driving a race car on race night. It's pretty wild. But welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so this is championship week, and as most people know, we tape these midweek, so it's Wednesday night. We just finished the Elite Championship. So this is, so far, it's been the Steve Goldner show. So Steve has won, he won the Renegades, he's won the 410s, the fixed 410s, and he won the midgets tonight. So that's 3 for Steve Goldner.
Yep.
And now we're going into Thursday night, and who is at the top of the standings in every division? Steve Shaw Jr.
Mr. Thursday night.
That
Mr.
much.
Thursday night.
It's only by that much, though. It's really close.
We're hoping it's going to be entertaining, and you
Yeah.
never know in the street stocks what the heck's going to happen. So.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I think street stocks have enough of a point lead, and with the drop nights, I might have it locked up. Not like I got to start the feature for sure, but
Yeah.
But late models and modifieds, I know in one division I'm only leading by 1 point, and the other is only by 20 or so. So they're really close.
Yeah. So I'll do you a favor. I won't bring my PBR Past Blue Ribbon beer can out tomorrow night in the street stocks and end up taking you out in your heat and in the B main. So.
Yeah.
Roger, do you know what division it is that he's got a 1 point lead?
No, I thought just before we started.
Pro lates, I believe.
Okay.
Is it pro late?
Yeah, I
didn't see
think
it was
so.
that close. So
Yeah.
I have to check that because I didn't realize it was that close, man.
Yeah, it's only 1 point. So.
Over who?
Kyle Parker, I think. Yeah, Kyle Parker in all divisions were 1 and 2 on Thursday night. So.
That's crazy. And he was in the running tonight for the midgets, I know. And
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing all the talking, Preston. If you got something there, I'll just keep on going here.
No. Well, so I was curious because I know we saw, I guess this was probably in the first few weeks of our podcast when you had visited Merrittville with Bill and took him down to his first first race down there. So we got to hear from Steve a little bit, but tell us a little bit about you race in real life like we all aspire to, I think. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience and what you've run and your accomplishments and such?
Yeah, I actually started racing in 2003 in basically the Thunder Stock division, what we run up here, which is street stocks. And then I won.
How old were you then?
16. Back
Okay.
then, the insurance wouldn't let anybody race until they were 16, could have a driver's license. So, and then I won 8 races my first season. 2 of them were feature events. Very lucky having somebody like my dad that's been in it for a long time be able to help set the car up and everything. Made a huge difference my rookie season. And then from there, I've drove almost every division you can think of except for a sprint car.
Is
So
that in the cards?
Yeah, is that in the cards?
If the opportunity ever came up, probably. And I would give it a try anyways, just to say I've done it. So,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's very cool.
And then running Thunderstock now, and then running Sportsman Modified for my buddy Ray Hawk. He's getting a little up there in age and just likes to see guys get in his car and have some fun, so I appreciate that
awesome.
ride. Yeah,
Isn't that awesome? Hey, that's kind of like Connor Ross.
exactly, yes.
Yeah, just an awesome community, for sure. So the dirt modifieds, you've got to be excited the coming week coming up here.
Yeah, and then I'm going to turn 1,000,000 laps at Weed Sport because it's probably the closest thing we got to Merrittville, so I'll be able to get a lot of test and tune laps in. Hopefully
There
they
you go.
drive about the same and setups are close.
Yeah. Well, the night I was at Merrittville, you were running the dirt modified.
Yep. Working out the bugs on it. I think it was my 3rd night in that car with a brand new setup in it. So, Grace put a lot of time in it this winter already. So we're hoping that next year we can compete a little better.
So are you the oldest of all the brothers?
No, that'd be Todd. So
I should have brought
Yeah.
the diagram out so we could point to things.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
tree. I put a post on the G-Force Lounge the other day because there's Lampmans have 3 or 4 cars they run street stocks, and then
Yeah, they have a lot too.
there's you guys, so it's like 2 families run half. They could be
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
could be a whole heat.
Yep, pretty much, yeah. My brother Robert's running mini stocks now. We're going to build him a new car this winter, and then building my brother Todd a brand new car, and we're helping another guy from Chatham, Brad Othier, build a brand new Thunder stock as well. So it's going to be a busy off season. I might skip a couple nights in the league through the winter season here, so we can get some cars built. But besides that, I'm pretty going to be dedicated to Thursday nights if we run them like that still, and then the modifieds for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on one of the things we're gonna talk about later tonight is the
Uh-oh.
street stock. Street stocks are we're gonna have 2 divisions of street
Yep.
stocks, and they're gonna run Wednesday nights. So I'm not sure how that affects you.
I'll
I
work.
mean-
I'll just schedule working in the shop around racing with the
Okay.
league when I can. So yeah.
So nobody else still has a chance to win anything
Yeah.
with.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, but it's an unlimited I rating, so you don't know. You might get a few guys,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
floating in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
that's-
especially with the open setups, it's going to change a lot. So
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
We're kind of looking forward to that. I think it's a new dynamic that we're adding, and should be interesting for all you fender bangers.
So would you just, because obviously there's a ton of divisions and you've run a bunch of them.
Yep.
Would you say street stocks are your favorite through our league, or is there one you prefer over that?
I run a lot of street stocks. The one team I'm with, Peerless Racing, they do hosted street stock races almost every night, and they're always open and people can come in and join us. And we share setups. We try to help each other out as much as we can to help the whole community out. So
That's good. So where do they show up and host it under? Peerless Racing?
usually the name's Peerless Racing, and then it's usually either Chris, Shane, or Zachary hosting races. So
Yeah,
Okay, that's cool, man.
we'll have to put a post out in the lounge about that just to keep the
Yeah.
competition flowing.
yeah, for sure, because we run with some of the best street stock racers, I think, most of the time. Like, we get a lot of the well-known street stock drivers coming into our races, and I run fairly competitive with most of them, and most of our team does. Our setups seem to be upper tier, hopefully, and we can help more people out.
So you'll have to let those guys know about the the open league now with the.
Oh yeah,
Sweet
for
Sox
sure.
in our league.
Yeah, yeah. I know like Zach Chapman there joined a couple weeks ago. LW Wise,
Yep.
we're always talking about him. He's actually part of the
Yep.
team. And so there's a few guys from the
Cool.
team slowly making their way over to G-Force, and we're trying to get more to come. It's just a lot of them are actually out in like California, so time
Yeah.
with work and stuff's a little bit iffy. But
Yeah. We get the same thing with Terry Landis, who is
yeah,
he's a California boy. The other person we're going to talk to a little bit later tonight. So.
Yeah.
So
And
how did you get in?
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
How'd you get into iRacing? Like, how long you been in iRacing?
I started before Dirt came out, and then it was just for like a few months, and I was like, I really don't want to do the pavement thing all the time. I was doing a lot of NR 2003 league stuff back then, still, because it was still fairly popular when iRacing was first coming out.
Yep.
And then, so I got burned out on the pavement side of it really quick, and then as soon as Dirt came out, I've been on and off a lot myself. So.
And
But-
so what do you have for?
Sorry, I was just gonna say.
Oh,
Right now, sorry, my rig is just a gaming PC that was cheap on sale at Staples, and then just a single monitor right now, working on triples. I have VR. I don't really care for it myself. I'm just so used to just the single flat monitor, and my lap times are a lot better with it. But I am going triples. I'm building a brand new set of pedals with a real hydraulic brake and a real racing pedal, like throttle pedal. So should help with throttle control because it's going to have a lot more throw in it than just your standard box pedals.
Yeah, you need to break out one of those street stock chassis off the old cars and do something like Kevin Fry did. Might take up a little bit more room, but I think you can pull it off.
Yeah, yeah,
you
for
can
sure.
always run out in the garage. You can go to the garage and run. You know.
Well, we were joking around about that last winter and during the off season there when we were doing the Friday night deals about just setting everything up in the race car, putting a monitor on the dash, and having a good time. But yeah, maybe we might do that this winter. We get a chance.
Make sure you take
that'd be
pictures.
cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I don't know if you saw it, Preston, but he did post some pictures in the lounge on the brake and the throttle, and so that I'm not sure if you had it all set up yet or.
No, it's not set up yet. I've been procrastinating on it, so just waiting on like my monitor mounts to come in so I can actually build my stand for my monitors and everything. So.
You fab a
that's
lot of
cool,
that
man.
stuff yourself?
All of it, most of it I can. I cheaped out and just bought the monitor mounts though.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming, just waiting on them to come from China, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a while.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So what do you do in the real world when you're not racing?
For work, I'm a courier driver, like UPS, FedEx, that kind of deal. And so, always driving. It's not online at night. It's during the day at work. So,
do you finish your route early? I'm just wondering.
Usually, yeah, but the other day it was quite late. We're doing a lot of residential stops now. With the Black Friday sales, we got pretty hammered the other day. So.
I thought, maybe with the snow that we've had, that you'd be able to do a few drifts around some of those turns and stuff.
Not with the front wheel drive minivan. Ain't gonna happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, Roger sends us lots of pictures of the cool cars he's been driving because he does that like kind of delivery service or whatever. I don't know what it's called. But I'm pretty sure his daily driver's a minivan too, so don't let him fool you.
Yeah.
I
get to drive by the Chrysler factory in Windsor every day, and they're always pulling out all these new cars and driving them around. Just a lot of the new Challengers and stuff. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, very cool. So you and Goldner, I know you. That's the warehouse for all of the A&J custom design trophies.
It seems like that, yeah.
So Andy just sends them to the one address, and then you pick up your. So there'll be there's potentially at least six going to. That should save on shipping if we can ship them all together. But
I think that's what we've been doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So good on the Ashweekend boys, eh? You guys make Canada proud, and and then Ryan Beagle, he's been off a little bit. Beagle used to be totally dominant, and you showed up. And
Ryan's had a lot of bad luck and a lot of run-ins this season and Thursday night. So he's always fast. He's always right there. Just some really bad luck. Yeah.
Yeah. So. So do you and Goldner go back a ways, or is it just through iRacing or?
No, just iRacing. We never hung out before it, and I went to his place there last week to pick up my trophies that Andy sent down, and then we talked for 45 minutes, half hour, and I drove my hour back home. That's about as long as we've ever hung out in person.
Oh yeah, is that right? Eh?
Yeah.
That's wild. You spend more time on the virtual track together.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So,
any other questions there, Preston?
Yeah, so I'm going to ask my question that I asked everybody.
Yep.
In our league, who would you say is your biggest rival?
Lately, probably Goldner.
Yeah.
Like we're always not like it's a friendly rivalry. We're in Discord together. We talk a lot of crap when we can, and and we always seem to be around each other on Thursday nights. So
yeah. I was wondering. I figured it would either be Goldner, because especially as far as like point standings, you guys are, always at the top. And but you and Kyle Parker, at least tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be you and Kyle Parker. Everybody else just needs to get out of the way.
Sure.
Yeah. That's right. So we're really looking forward to it. Should be a good show. And good luck. Good luck in all those divisions.
I appreciate it. I'm happy either way. First, second, third. It don't matter. I just enjoy running with the league. You guys do so much for the iRacing community. It's pretty great.
Yeah, we enjoy it, and we enjoy having you. You're a fun guy to race against, and you run clean, and we always appreciate that. I know our review committee appreciates that, so we appreciate you having you on the podcast and in the league, and good luck tomorrow for sure.
Hey, perfect. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks, Roger.
Well, that was a great interview with Steve Jr. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Steve Sr. and the other two brothers, which Todd but that's the question out there, is what was the fourth one?
Rob, right?
Rob, Rob. That's right. So I had the pleasure of meeting those guys. So it's going to be interesting to see that rig as he develops it, because he did post that on the lounge with the pedals and stuff. So see how he makes out with that. But it's interesting that he's single screen and all that stuff.
And
so
and look where he's at. Like I think everybody looks at you got to have the expensive stuff to win, and I'll be the first to tell you I think it helps. But look how competitive he is. He's possibly going to win 3 championships tomorrow. And I'd like to see him start like a blog or something. He was talking about building race cars for these other guys and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that process. Maybe that's not something they want to show off, but I think it'd be pretty cool.
It would be very cool, yeah. And you're talking about simple systems. Like, I'm pretty sure I was told that I may be wrong, but Ryan Beagle just has a laptop on the kitchen table. Maybe we should get him to send a picture of his rig in sometime, because that sort of stuff's crazy.
Yeah, and
that was good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually at one point that's how I started. I was running off a laptop on my parents' kitchen table, and I'd take my G27 in there and bolt it on and run. And I wasn't good, but there's I'm gonna forget his name, but back when the NASCAR guys were running.
Ty Majeski? Is that what you're gonna?
No, it wasn't Ty. I know he does that too, but it's actually one of the Cup guys. But he was really good too, and he had some experience iRacing. I don't remember his name, but we've talked about it before. And he was running a G27 with single monitor, and then they panned to Denny Hamlin, and he's got a room that's practically dedicated to it. It's
I know.
You don't have to have the best equipment to win. It might maybe push you down the road a little bit, but if you develop the time or have some natural talent, it's not a requirement by any means. No.
So Ty Majeski, who's the all-time highest I-rating guy ever, and now races late models, he had a picture one day in a hotel room, and he had a laptop and a G27, and somebody said, "Well, I guess that's what you use on the road." He said, "No, that's what I use all the time." And it's just, and I forgot his name now. The guy that he won 3 of the NASCAR series before it paid big money. I like watching them. Yeah. Anyways, same thing. G27 and a sort of a homemade computer that was just barely could get the frame rate up. So, Ray Alfella. So it's amazing. But we could talk about that for a while. But we got another great interview coming up with our good friend. And we've talked about it before. It's like a family, the Coast to Coast team, and this guy is certainly one of the leaders on there. Terry Landis. We've been wanting to get him back. We had him, but we ended up talking too long, and it was too much data for you. And so we brought him back in again, and I'm looking forward to this interview.
Yeah, let's check it out. All right, so we're back here with my good friend Terry Landis, a teammate as well. And so, Terry, welcome to the podcast. I know we did an interview one time before. I'm going to just tell everybody. We did an interview for like an hour because I was going to chop all the video up, and I've been too lazy to do it. So we just asked you to come back. So we appreciate you coming back and talking with us for a lot less than an hour. So if anybody's watching this and concerned how long this is going to take,
we're not going that long.
Yeah. Although we could. We definitely could.
Coach Landis, how are you tonight, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good. How y'all doing?
Doing great. So Terry is the absolute best racing coach there is.
I wouldn't say that.
Oh, hey, the last yesterday and today, I've had 3 top 10 finishes. Me,
awesome.
And 2 of them coming from the back. You'd be proud of me.
All right.
So it's your teaching has paid dividends. And anybody out there, you had said this flippantly the other night, Preston. Somebody contact Terry and flip him $20, and you'll get in the cockpit with you, and you'll come out a faster racer. Absolutely. Get old Mr. Yoo-Hoo. Hey, Mr. Yoo-Hoo will take you to the front.
Yeah,
okay.
I talked about it last week, and specifically at Weed Sport, and I was not in the mood to actually go out and race, so I didn't even want to hear it. No. Terry's trying to help me fix the car up, and I didn't want to. I was ready to quit. Quite frankly, I was ready to just park it in the hauler, and Terry wouldn't let up. He just kept on. Well, what's wrong with the car? What's wrong with the car? And he got me fixed up, and I ran pretty well until maybe the last few laps. I think I flipped the car, but that was an error. It wasn't because of the setup. So Terry isn't going to take the compliment, I don't think, but he is an excellent coach, and I think anybody on our team would tell you that. That I'll give you an opportunity to talk about that a little bit, Terry. You and I kind of handle some of the administrative side of stuff, but I think most people probably knew we originally started as Coast to Coast, which from the get-go was Roger, you and I, and Joe Backus.
Right.
And so we kind of just started a team, and it was probably more a social thing than anything else, because I think Roger kind of prompted it all, because we all like to goof off and kind of
right.
had the same sense of humor, and it started off really well, and then we added some other guys, and we'd gotten up to quite a few people, and we've recently made some changes, so I'll give you a couple minutes to kind of explain what we're doing now.
Okay, well, we're just going to take the team. Go ahead.
Can I just jump in for a second? Because what we should explain, too, is the Kreitz C2C team, Terry was a crewman on the Kreitz team for a number of years, right?
10 years.
10 years. So it does not come without experience. Okay, so that's the connection with Kreitz Racing.
So now that you bring that up, and Terry can go into this more, but Kreitz Racing is Don Kreitz. So I think a lot of people will know who he is. From where I'm at, like in Virginia, it's not a common name. So Terry educated me on it, and it's, pretty exciting, right? But Don Kreitz was a driver some years ago, is in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, is a team owner and driver. His driver now, Lance DeWeese, is in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. And one of my favorite guys on the team, Davey Brown, who's their engine builder, is also in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. So we've been incredibly fortunate to be, intermingled in with some of that now. We've talked about this before when I actually got to go up there and kind of be in the pits with those guys. But that's kind of where all this started, and the connection started with Terry and his knowledge of who Don was and being part of the team.
Yeah. Okay, right. So we set the stage for you now.
Okay.
Is there anything left, Terry?
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Terry.
Yeah, it was great.
We'll let you talk now.
Thanks. I don't know what to say. No, it was. I just asked Donald about it, and because thanks to COVID, him and Cassidy each bought a rig and started doing some racing online. And I just gave him a shout out one time and said, "Hey, Donald, think we could, strike up a team? And he said, sure, no problem. So we just went ahead and did it, and which took us to Kreitz Racing C2C. And, we brought on a bunch of guys. And like Preston said, a bunch of guys that have the great personalities that really click. We might not race as good as everybody else, but we have a great time in the pits, We're always hee-hawing and eating and stuff like that, you know what I mean?
It's the best. We may not be the fastest, but we're the best team out there as far as camaraderie and caring.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new family that we've all gotten. So
right,
but
yeah.
But as you said, we're not that good at racers, so that's where we kind of take this next step. And tell us about that.
Well, yeah, we went to what Preston said. Let's take it a notch further, and so we all sat down and decided who would be on what team, and we split it up because Kreitz Racing, we want to take that to make it bigger and better and get the name out there more than what we're doing.
Yeah, and faster.
Oh, definitely faster, yeah.
So we're all still part of C2C. We're all still part of that family. We're still just absolutely plugged messenger with stuff every morning with the going back and forth. But when it comes to racing, there's an elite squad that we're trying to form now.
And it's pretty cool is because we all help each other out just because we're on two different teams. We're still in the pits for each other and helping each other and giving each other suggestions.
Yeah, and that's really and I'm stealing your thunder again, Terry, but that's really where we're kind of taking this. Is it's not like anybody that's on C2C exclusively now is ineligible, but we wanted to take the guys that were committed to putting the time in. It wasn't even all about their performance level, but we know some guys don't have the same amount of time to invest.
Or skills.
Yeah, I mean it's a variety of things. So we've got our kind of social team that still benefits from being connected, and then we have our right now it's 4 guys on Kreitz Sim Racing, which we just finalized our new logo yesterday. I don't think that's been put out yet, but I'm pretty excited about that. And so those 4 guys are they're committed to going out and being competitive. And so if we're not being competitive, we're not doing our job. And we felt like we owed. Really, the Kreitz name, right? I mean, look at the what they've done. Yeah, the history, exactly. And so we want to make sure we're doing right by them as well. I mean, they've kind of loaned us their name, and we want to make sure we're doing them justice. So that's where it all comes from. Terry helps me run the team and kind of get things organized because everybody knows I'm busy with wearing 6 different hats at a time. So,
yeah, you do.
But we still have a lot of fun together, and like Roger was saying, I think I probably talk to guys on C2C more than I talk to most of my family members, which some of my family members watch this, so maybe in a little bit of hot water at this point. But
Yeah.
So Terry, I shared this one time before, and I think it was probably on the episode we intended to have your interview about going to the Tuscarora 50. And I hope I didn't share the story, but I might have. But I'm going to go back to it and at least give you the chance to defend yourself. So when I was up there with Don and the crew, I was just kind of hanging around the car, and I was asking some of the guys that were working on the car. Terry tells lots of stories, about, going to, maybe it was Selinsgrove, and, they finished up the race, and Don goes, take a look around, boys, because we're never coming back. And,
That's Grandview.
Grandview, excuse me. So yeah. So Terry's got lots of stories, and that was the reason, quite frankly, why the original interview did not make the cut, because there was too much content, and I couldn't get it all split up to get it edited in enough time. But so I was telling him, and Terry's not really giving us a lot of dirt on anybody there, but I figured they had some on Terry. So I was asking around, and you told me, but I can't remember the gentleman's name that told me.
John Sharp.
That's it. So John was telling me a story, and I asked him, and he hemmed and hawed, and he kind of made it seem like he was trying to think of something, like he couldn't remember. But what I really think it was is he had so much stuff that he had to just pick one. Yeah. So the one he picked was a story about you. They asked you to, or y'all used to switch off driving the hauler. And if anybody watched back just before the Tuscarora 50, they did a bunch of specials on Don and his team on Flow Racing, and they actually showed this old hauler that actually just sold last week, I believe.
That's the one that was for sale, was it?
It was the one that was for sale, and maybe it has something to do with Terry. I don't know, because what I heard was Terry's driving the hauler down to Williams Grove, and it's a 2-speed rear end, and he decided to downshift when he shouldn't have, and he blew up the rear end, and they had to drag the hauler into the track.
Totally not right.
Well, I mean, it's
half of it.
Well, so you blew one of the gears out then.
No, I got it stuck into high gear.
We
made it. It was coming down off the turnpike into the toll booth, and I downshifted. And this is my first time driving a 2-speed truck. I didn't know, so I downshifted and it went clunk, and I got it into gear, and we rolled onto the track. And when we got there, Donald had to crawl underneath and get it unjammed.
So did they let you drive after that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. that truck was the best. I mean, it had a small engine in it, and you could put the pedal to the metal, and you wouldn't even go over 60. So it was fun.
No. So anyway, I was reading some of the comments, man, and people were devastated that he was selling that trailer. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
It was such an icon.
It is. I mean, no other trailer is like that. It's so compact. It's beautiful. You just take the wing off, roll the car up in there. They have an extra wing on the back. You have an extra wing on the top, so that's 2 extra wings. There's a spot in there for an extra engine. Underneath, we have an extra rear, extra bumpers, extra exhaust. So the only thing extra we don't have is a frame.
Man, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, people were hot after it. They were all talking about. There were people messaging other people and asking, "Hey," because I think the issue was the motor needed to be rebuilt. It was a Brazilian Ford diesel, and so the people were like messaging other people in the thread, "Hey, do you still have that laying around? We need to pick this up." All that stuff. It was just nuts. I mean, I'd never seen a frenzy like that over that's a high dollar purchase too. You know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a fun truck too. It has a little sleeper in it. It sleeps about maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
really?
6, 7 people in the middle there, right behind the cab. Yeah, it even has a 55-gallon fuel tank on there too for the alcohol.
It's awesome.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Roger and I just went and tried to figure out what kind of alcohol they were putting in there. Maybe I'm not sure. Anyway, so we'll jump over a little bit to the iRacing side of things. So, you've been with the what was the Oswegan Outlaws from the very beginning. Now G-Force Racing Leagues. So I know you were the original champion, as far as I understand.
One of them, I was. We used to run 2 different races, and
Yep.
I beat my buddy Jeff Barker by 1 point.
Was that the same
Yep.
season? So Roger mentioned this very briefly before we went live about it being two divisions we ran on Monday night. Apparently, I finished 4th, which is unbelievable.
Finished 4th, yeah.
So that's the series you're talking about, and that's the same season that when we talked to Jeff, we were talking about how he had 11 straight.
Right.
11 straight podium finishes, I think it was, but no wins.
Right. Yeah, it was crazy. He's always a bridesmaid, never the bride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was some good racing.
Yep. And there was names like, just looking back, that was our first season, Joe Backus, Braden Finsel, Maxime Langevin, Matt Croakey, Bruce Hilton. They were, I finished 10th. I finished 10th in the one division. That's
Man, how things have changed.
I can't finish 10th in the second division. Ryan Beagle, Terry, you finished 3rd in the other division.
Right.
So, and Matt Ramsey. Matt's been around. Matt's a quiet guy. I've never had a chance to talk to him, but he's been in our league forever. We got to get him on. I was thinking about that. We got to get him on one night because he's been here forever. He's just that quiet guy that always shows up, and he's always there. And Ross Corinta, he's another one that's there. So, yeah, that was our first season. So you were one of our first champions.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I mean, and it just goes to show all the promoting that you're doing and Bill's doing in the background. I mean, you guys taken this league from just those 2 races to
Yeah.
what it is now. What is it, 18 divisions or whatever? I mean, it's,
It changes all the time. I can't keep track.
Yeah.
your vision just took it and exploded
It's
it.
gone beyond division, seriously. And like and the support staff we have, which there's no way we could do this without
Oh my gosh, yeah.
everybody's help. So it's been it's been awesome. But it's amazing how many guys are still around. From that first
Right.
those first
And
races.
a bunch of great guys, great drivers have come in to our league too. I mean,
Yeah.
it used to be, guys like me. I'm, middle pack runner. I was running up front. Now, these guys come in, and now I'm back to the middle of the pack. It's
Yeah.
just goes to show the talent that's in
Same
our
with me.
Well,
yeah.
Absolutely.
and talking about that first season, and I think this has probably been pointed out, maybe not on air before, but John Short really likes to point out that I like to stir the pot a little bit. And so I remember seeing Terry win week after week. Well, not win week after week, but you were winning races here and there. I don't remember if you were winning a bunch, but but I knew you drove the Yoo-Hoo car. Like that's what stuck out to me. That's how we call you
Always.
the old Yoo-Hoo.
Right. Yoo-hoo.
And
Right.
so I remember just trying to stir things up, throwing a Nesquik paint on my car, just to try to stir things up a little bit. And Terry's too laid back. Terry just kind of laughed about it and went on his way, like it didn't even wasn't even on his radar really. It was pretty funny, and I'm pretty sure I wrecked out like early in that race too, and I shelved that paint for forever really. But I was actually on Trading Paints this past week. Trying to find one of my older setups, and I saw that in there, and it kind of reminded me of that. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I have to pull that back out sometime.
Right. Yeah.
So when did you get into iRacing? How long have you been doing it?
Right when Dirt came out, I saw it advertised on YouTube, and that I knew about iRacing, and then I saw that they're getting Dirt. I'm like, I gotta get that.
Yeah, because you've been sim racing for a long time, because you used I know it was maybe R Factor, where people were modding it for dirt racing. Is that right?
Right. Yeah, but I raced even before that, back in 1999, with the IDRS league. It was actually an offline league using NASCAR 99. Because you can mod that too. So we changed the tracks to dirt, loosened the tacky part, the grip, loosened the grip up a little bit, and somebody made templates to make modified. So yeah, back in 1999, and that's how I started that XS Motorsports.
So when you say an offline league, how does that work?
It's pretty much fun. You have all week to run a race. It doesn't matter how many, wherever. You take your best finish, and you submit your finish, your time, how many laps, and I forget what other things, and then everybody, the admin looks it all over, and whoever has the fastest race time wins.
That's pretty interesting.
I like our way better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little less headache. I think Roger, with 18 divisions or whatever it is at this point, I think Roger would probably lose his mind trying to tabulate that all every
Yeah.
week.
Well, back then the connections weren't as good, and running off a DSL or
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine even then, like at least here, like not everybody even had dial-up, and there's no way you could do something like this on dial-up. So
No, right. So that's what it was. So
Well,
and it worked out pretty good.
I can remember with the Commodore 64, before dinner you'd load the cassette, and it would start uploading Grand Prix, and then you'd go for supper, and by the time supper was over, it might be loaded into the. So that was 64K of total action.
What's a Commodore 64?
Well, there you go.
What's a cassette?
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
I'm kidding. I know what both of those things are.
Unbelievable where it's come from. And there's a guy, I'm trying to remember the guy's name at iRacing. He's the guy that developed the tire model, and there's a podcast with him on it, and he's actually the guy. He saw Flight Simulator and thought you should be able to do this for racing. I'll have to get his name for the next podcast. So he's the one that sort of started, the racing simulation, and it was a great interview. He took you through the whole history, all the apps and how they built them and all the different things. But he said it was a major celebration when they could go from 2 frames a second to 3 frames a second. And he
Right.
was explaining how it's all like these wire models, and you just move the wire anyways, it's too
What?
technical, but and he's with iRacing. He's the guy that developed the tire model.
Now I'm guessing he was probably with Papyrus at 1.2 or Papyrus
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Papyrus.
Papyrus. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had the Indy, the Papyrus Indy.
Yeah.
Right. Indy 500.
Yeah. It was great because it would be the Indy in Toronto, and I would crank all their power back, kind of like how you can do an AI.
Right.
And I'd go flying into the corner from the back, and if I didn't pass everybody, I'd just reset it and start to do it again until I did.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
so how? Go ahead.
No, that's all right.
So how's
What?
Cali, buddy?
Love it. Except right now,
Yeah.
it's cold. It's cold as hell.
Okay.
So what's
Yeah.
cold as hell?
It's gonna go down to 27 tonight.
Oh, that's
Really?
colder than
Yeah.
I expected.
Yeah, and it's only going up to 50 the next couple days. But then I think Monday's gonna be back in the 80s.
What? 27. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, that's colder
Yeah.
than here. That's
Yeah,
pretty wild.
It's 32
great.
here right now. So yeah, it's colder in Cali.
I'll take the cold with no snow.
No,
Yeah, I
see,
would
I'd take the snow with no cold. I don't know that that's possible, but I would.
Yeah. But
So,
Cali's good.
so I actually specifically remember there was a season. It may have been just after that first season because I know you moved from Florida to California, and you know what? It might have been just after we formed a team or just before, but I remember seeing pictures of you and Judy and the cats in the car.
And the cats. Oh,
Right.
Which I think I ought to give you a chance to tell. So Terry was in the running for our midget championship this season. Didn't have a real good week last week and put him down the order a little bit. Still had a very outside chance tonight. I actually ran midgets tonight, don't usually, and we're in the same Discord room. And Terry had a bit of a issue on the first lap. Do you want to share what happened?
Oh yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. I'm getting ready to go into turn one, and next thing you know, a cat jumps on my lap. So I'm like trying to hee-haw her off my lap, and I stuffed it into the wall. So that's what happened.
It was like it was in slow motion. I heard Terry go, "Oh, damn, no cat, smash!" And I watched him turn right into the wall. And I didn't want to laugh. It was obviously very unfortunate, but it was
Yeah, well,
pretty comedic as well.
it is what it is. You know, you take it and go on to the next.
Yeah, that's right.
At least here, nothing was bent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I
No.
guess you're used to straightening that stuff out.
All right, so I'm gonna ask because I ask everybody, and then we'll let you go.
Yeah, here we go. Yep.
But who is your biggest rival in the G-Force Racing Leagues? And don't
I'd
give me a
like to-
cop-out answer.
No, I like to say Barker, because we're always battling. Like we had a great battle in that race the other day. Oh no, it was the midgets too. But there's a couple of them out there. You're one,
Yeah.
Preston.
Yeah, we used to laugh about that, about how it didn't matter. I could start in the pole, and Terry could start in the back, or the other way around. And by the end of the race, we were going to probably battle the last 10 laps side by side.
That's how it always was in that season, right?
Yeah.
Second season. I mean, and it's still like that to this day. You know, we're always battling side by side. And Stephen Shaw Jr. He jumped up my game a little bit in the midgets.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to chase him down, and Goldner too. I mean, that guy's a class act. I mean, how many championships did he win already? You know, this year, but.
Now,
Great.
it's
Well,
interesting
yeah,
you
that's
say
the-
that because when we talked to Steve Shaw a little bit ago, he mentioned he didn't mention you, but he did mention Goldner. So you guys are obviously finding yourselves around each other quite a bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
I mean, how many,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, how many championships did Steven win then?
I don't think it's settled yet.
And what's he gonna win next year? All freaking 18 of them? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe we'll ban him.
Well, you know what? In talking about that, and we were probably going to get into that a little bit, in other parts of the podcast. But we interviewed Steven last year after he had won Renegades, and when we kind of made comments about we'll probably see you back here next year, and he was not confident about that at all. And in his defense, I mean, he obviously had a great season, But I think this was probably one of the more competitive seasons we've ever had in Renegades. Kyle Moonen really gave him a run for his money down to the wire there.
Yep.
I think he had some bad luck in the final week at Volusia, but it was a great season. And not that Kyle's not fast. I mean, Kyle's always been really fast, but not somebody you usually see there towards the top at the end of the season. And I think we talked to him at one point. I don't remember I don't think it was online, but where he was saying that at the beginning of the season he was just wasn't even planning to run all the races, and he got about halfway through the season and realized I'm really competitive, and so he finished out really strong.
He's a great runner, He's always up front.
Yep.
Yeah.
Up front, clean racer. Yep.
And everybody always comments about how laid back he is. I think. Oh, and you know what? I think that's when they talked to him about it. It was in an interview. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in an interview.
Yeah, and they even the broadcasters picked up on that about how Kyle, he just finished the race, his second place or whatever, and he's just just as mellow as can be. Which those are the guys that make our league really kind of special. They're out there to have a good time, love to finish well, but it's just about getting out there and running good.
Yep.
That's all it is. I mean, it's the next best thing to be in there, really. I mean, you can't afford a real rig, to go racing because you got fuel, you got tires, you got to get it there, all that stuff. And here you spend $3,000 max, and you can go racing,
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as the cat doesn't jump on your lap.
As long as the cat doesn't jump.
That's right.
Yeah. So I got to ask you before you go, one last question from me. What do you think of Preston's earbuds there?
I thought we were past this.
What is pink headphones there?
Yeah.
Hey there, whatever wants to.
Yeah, you're a Cali guy. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You rock and roll easy. Yeah.
He probably broke his and took his wife's probably.
No, they're definitely his wife's. He's admitted that.
Yeah, that's surprisingly accurate, Terry. Maybe I've mentioned that before.
He's probably going to get a new set at Christmas so she can have hers back.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty close to wearing these out now. I think I just need to get her another pair and maybe myself as well. Well, Terry, we appreciate you coming on, buddy. It's always nice having you. I think we said we weren't going to make it an hour, but if we don't stop now, we're probably going to get there. So
probably will be.
We'll see you out on the track. Like I said, if anybody wants help, send Terry $20, and I'm sure he's going to get out there and help you out. And he's liable to do it for free, but I don't want to advertise that. So.
Oh, okay, right. Thanks.
We appreciate it, buddy. Have a good evening and good luck tomorrow. I know you probably run a couple races on Thursday and then Skippy's on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep.
We'll see you at the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Take care, buddy.
See ya.
Yeah, so it's always good to talk to Terry. I think I don't know if we said it during the interview or just prior to it starting. I think we told Terry we'd take about 15 minutes, and you see what Roger and I can do when we're talking, and it can go a long ways. And Terry's got tons of good stories. That's why our previous interview lasted so long. So we'll have to have him back on at some point. But it'll take a little bit of time now, not a ton of it, but just to talk about some of the things we have upcoming. I had a pair of sunglasses on. Roger told me I had to take them off because I wanted to convey how bright the future looks. But I guess Roger didn't like the metaphor. So anyway, blame that on him.
No, that would have been good. That would have been good.
So we've got a lot of excellent stuff coming up. Our league is. I think there's always in the last few weeks of a season. And Roger's going to be really humble about this, but there's always a lot of panic between Roger and I just trying to get stuff together for the following season. And we always manage to get it together. We've really just been kind of blessed that way, really. I mean, because we have a lot of people that help us too, but it takes a lot of hard work for Roger. I help as much as I can, and I know I play a role in it. But Roger is the architect of the league, I think is a good title. And we've got some really cool stuff coming up, so I'm going to let him tell you guys a little bit about that.
Well, that's what happens. When you're a retired guy, you're looking for shit to do. That's kind of,
I'm sure COVID helps too, yeah.
Yeah, and that helps too, for sure. You know what? Seriously, the whole iRacing thing has kept my sanity through the COVID issue. It satisfied, the whole racing thing and stuff. But it's the social interaction with, guys on our team, but guys in the league, It's been. I'm sure a lot of guys in the league could say the same thing. That it's been. It's a pressure release, for having a chance to sort of chill and get some of that social interaction going.
And
Especially for.
it's some consistency too, right? It's something that hasn't changed, and
Yep,
we get to
yep.
come back and do it the same way we've been doing it since we started. And for me, that's it, right? Because I still get to go. I'm lucky enough to be able to go to my job every day, but things are just different, right? It's not like I'm cooped up, but things are just different. But this league is like it is on. It's kind of a marker, right? I'm running Sunday nights, Monday nights, and Wednesday nights, and it's my schedule, and everything else is just weird.
And it's the same for me where I have my Monday nights, and I like a few races I like, but like the Thursday nights, 'cause other than when I go pull the beer can out and drive it around to the street stocks, that's my night off. But everything runs, everything's looked after. It's just there's so many great people in here, and I know week after week we talk about that, but it is just so true, and everybody owes a big thank you to all those people that turn all the wheels in the back room. It's a pretty awesome thing to see. So, but we got some really interesting stuff coming up. Championship week, 2/3. We just got the Thursday night and then the Skippies. But I'm willing to bet. I'll bet you right now that half the trophies will have the name Steve on them.
It might be more than that.
Well, so it's been a great season. This season's gone so fast. Some really exciting things coming up. One just to touch on, we still need sponsors, because we want to broadcast the 4 nights a week. So we still need sponsors. A couple of times in the last week that casters make more than one in one race than you and I have made in 2 years. We've been doing like 20 to 40 hours a week on it, so that we don't get any money, we don't get paid. But we could certainly use, and we've got a great. The interesting thing about this coming season is we've got sim-related products coming on board. So that's. I'm not going to say too much more about it, but we're actually getting products that relate. We're really excited about that, and we'll be interviewing some of those new sponsors, in the new year, in the next. So there's that. But the week 13 is a chance to, you got the big download, and evidently I found out tonight's happening Wednesday, not Tuesday. Changes to Tuesday schedule because I had the modifieds running on Tuesday night, so that's not going to happen. Anyways, we got some fun races. It's not finalized yet. I'll post that schedule, but there'll be some 360s on Monday. But the last race is going to be the 2-wheel, the pro trucks or whatever you call them. And John Hine, I wasn't sure what to do with those, and John Hine and Barker got involved, and there was this long thread of them going back and forth, different ideas they're going to do. So I've left it to them. So that's a surprise for Monday night. I'm not sure how that'll turn out. And then Tuesday night, we've got a chili bowl. So we're going to have the midgets run the chili bowl. Again, I'm not, I know the track. I've raced on the track. Me and Gary used to just run laps there and see if we could make it around without crashing. Anyways, but Barker's raced there quite a bit. So Barker's going to run with that and set up some sort of chili bowl. We'll have to figure out what we're going to, because those were supposed to be dirt modifieds. So Wednesday and Thursday for sure we got dirt modifieds, and in the afternoons we're going to, instead of running the fixed, we're going to run some 358s on get some more practice in, and then we're gonna run the Legend NASCAR pickups at. I think it was Knoxville. Yeah.
What is a Legend NASCAR pickup?
So it's the old Silverado. So
Legacy.
Legacy. Sorry, that's right. Legacy. So it's the free one.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay.
I was a little confused.
Yeah, got me. Yeah.
All right.
So it's the Legacy. I hope he's okay with me saying Brandon Schultz is setting those up. So because it's a NASCAR car and it's got slicks or whatever. So he's going to set it up so he can compete, and that's like a preliminary to the NASCAR at Knoxville.
So
And
you're
then,
telling me that Brandon Schultz not only dominates the sprint cars, that he can also set up the asphalt cars too?
but it's asphalt on dirt, so it's
Oh. Okay, I wasn't
right.
paying
We're
good
at
attention.
Knoxville.
Sorry.
We're at Knoxville.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
got it.
wake up. So, anyways, and then Thursday we're going to have street stocks, an enduro race, 150 laps, no cautions, and like 60 cars, and hopefully we get a big turnout. So it'll be a gong show, but. And then, of course, we got a whole dirt modified division coming up in the new season. We can talk about, but yeah, a lot of new things coming. We'll have 2 divisions of street stocks, an A and a B, so that should help fix things there. And we're actually talking about leaning towards, I think, our championship. They'll race at the same track every week. If not that, then 4. We're going to do the same with the midget. Again, they'll be running on Tuesday nights. We're moving the gauntlet is being renamed, so it's going to become the elite qualifier. I mean, that's what it is. So it just
Does that mean I have to
something.
make a new logo?
I've been meaning to send you a message for like 3 days about. Well, you got the dirt modified logo, so I have to do one for that because we called pro qualifier little tournament we had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. So what's
you'll need to make a logo.
Yeah,
You'll need to make the elite shootout. So I might as well talk about that right now because I want to make sure I get this word out.
Y'all see what he does to me. I mean,
I know.
Last minute making 4 new logos, 3 new logos, man.
Yeah, can I have them to him? So yeah, I'm putting my order in now. So going to be Iran tonight. We haven't figured out all the math, but we'll be taking the top. I think it's 20 or 25 drivers. So there'll be a lot of guys falling out of that. I know they'll be upset. But it's IL or if you had to show up, and it'll take 2 or 3 seasons, but we will have the best damn league. That elite series is going to be just killer. I'm telling you right now, there's already the last couple of weeks. There's been a couple of guys that have signed up for the gauntlet, the elite qualifier, we're calling it now, with I ratings of like 5,000. So there's guys coming on board. It's going to be a killer series coming down the road. But anyways, for those guys, so we'll be taking top 5 up to 5 from the Renegades, from the top 10, if their IL's good enough. Then we'll be taking the top 5 if their IL's below 0.25 from the Gauntlet series. So they'll now be part of the Elite series. But what we will be doing in the first 2 weeks of the season is we'll be running kind of like what we did at the beginning of last season, but only 4 races. So it'll be a shootout. So it'll be 4 races, Tuesday, Thursday. You got 1 drop week, and the top 5 from that with an IL below 0.25 will get. So it's a chance for those guys that fell out to get back in this season. So, and then there's a few provisionals too, but that's a whole other topic. So that's coming on board. I've talked about the sponsors. We were moved on GeForce TV to GeForce Esports, which makes sense. But I'm asking everybody to go out and make sure you subscribe. So when you're on that page, there's a little bell there. Just go and click on it. Just come on. So it pops up for me, and sometimes, like I say, on a Thursday, and I get reminded, oh yeah, the broadcast is starting up. So there's that, and web page. There's been a lot of updates on the web page. There's more coming, so check it out. We put the Pitside podcast up there. That's the one. I'm working on a lot of stuff on there. The sponsors are up there. All the logos are up there. If you want, putting together an organizational page. So we have that org chart, but it's also now all the people who are on the various committees. So there'd be a little summary of those people there. Information there, and that might be about all I've got to talk about right now. So again, next week should be fun, and looking forward to the dirt modifieds. We've been waiting, and I think we've got. And I haven't even really pushed it yet, but we've already got like over 60 guys signed up for Dirt Modified. So we've got the plan is to have 3 divisions on Thursday night, just like we have Monday night. There'll be progressive, there'll be a fixed 358, then there'll be an open 358, and then the open big block. And we'll may have to make adjustments somewhere along the line. But to populate it off the beginning, we'll be kind of any of the Renegades, Rebels, Raiders that want to race. We'll populate that A division with our highest rated drivers. And then probably, because it's the first season, after about 5 races, we'll make probably a fairly major adjustment and get all the best guys up in that top division. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be broadcast, and it should be just a kick-ass series. I'm really can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too, and I actually am going to appeal. Hopefully, we've been live for a pretty good time here, but hopefully, I've still got some people watching. If anybody can find me the big block template, but prior to it being released, if you can, the first person that can get me that proper template, like I said, prior to it being released, if you can get it to me, I'll give you a free wrap. Because I really need to get started. I have people that have already paid for those, and I need to get started on those because I want to make sure all my people, all my my ESW customers have their wraps in time. So if you can get that to me, I'll hook you up. But I'm really excited about that too.
Yeah, let's talk about how excited you are with Epsilon Sprint Wraps. Will be the whole division sponsor, so you'll be sponsoring the whole. There will still be division sponsors, but over the whole divisions will be Epsilon Sprint Wraps. So that's exciting. Can't wait. I'm sure you're going to be. I got to get all those graphics off you now because once that starts, you're going to be busy boy.
Yeah,
so,
I'll definitely be busy. And I'll be honest. The reason I was so anxious to jump on that is I really think that our Monday Night League is probably one of the best on iRacing. I think we do have, the iRating cap, which is debated. I thoroughly think that that's the way it should stay, just because the structure has been formed around that. But we're getting on the ground floor here, and there's tons of other sprint car leagues, right? But we're getting in on the ground floor of this big block thing, applying a pattern or a template for a league that we know works. I mean, and I wouldn't say flawlessly, but pretty damn close, right? And I think that we are poised to do really huge things with the big block league. I would, again, personally hope that it never overshadows our sprint car league because that's my absolute favorite. But I could see that happening. I really do. I think that our big block league, if it pans out the way our Monday night sprint car league has panned out, that we're going to go places. Again, we talked about it with, I think it was Terry. We've got 16 or 18 or some number of divisions now, but this is in my mind what takes us to the next level, because of where we're starting, and we already have a following outside of big blocks, so we get that crowd, we get some of the people that are going to be talented in big blocks, involved, and who knows where we go from there. It could be a really, really big deal.
Yeah, we've talked about doing this for a whole more than this season.
Yeah.
So, and like you say, we have the template, so I think it's going to work. It'll take a season to sort itself out, but then it's just going to be unbelievable. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be, I don't even know if I'll like them or not. So it's, but there's enough people going to like them that will, right. I'm looking forward to running the division. Yeah. It's kind of sad too. I mean, we've only got so many. Season we're going to be doubling up, so we'll be actually running recruiting and running a league race at the same time because there's just not enough slots. But having said all that, Thursday, actually, Tuesday to Thursday we're running 5 races a day, between the after and then a recruiting race, and then 3 races every night. But something has to drop off. The pro lates are dropping off this season. We're not saying they'll never come back. Your beloved at UMPs have dropped off for this. I miss the 305s, 360s, 410s will still run in the afternoons. When we had all of them, it was a great night. That was one of my favorite nights. But there's just no room for all of this stuff. We've got so much going on, and thank God we got so many people helping. So
That's
it's
true.
good. And just before we sign off, I just a huge thank you to everybody that's been involved in this. The executive committee, to the review committee, to all those admins, our sponsors. We couldn't be doing what we were doing without sponsors. So, and the broadcasters. Kudos to the broadcasters. Like Joe White. Joe's always been there for us. A guy you can count on. Doug Elkins has come on. Jake did a good job. Unfortunately, Jake, he's got other commitments next season. But did a great job while he was with us. But we got some new and exciting things happening from the broadcast side too. So, just thanks to everybody. It's been an unbelievable season. Can't wait to, this is Sunday. You'll have everything except for the Skip Barber series, which Bobby Rafferty has won it. I might as well let that cat out of the bag now. But you got Greg Boydell going for the overall championship with Jeff Barker and I think Field Miller. So that won't be settled, and that takes that's just way too complicated for iRacing League Manager to figure out. So you only get that once a week because it's like a 2-hour data cleansing pivot table, all sorts of stuff to produce that total. So I won't probably have that till Monday or Tuesday, who the overall winner is, and I'm hoping Greg Boydell can sleep that night until that comes out. And no, it's been great, and I just can't thank everybody enough. We've had some phenomenal racers come on this season. The level, I've said this several times, but the Raiders division is just so strong. And oh, by the way, we'll have a 4th 360 division, so there will be the Rustlers. We've used that name before, but the Rustlers will be the D division, running on Tuesdays.
Well, there's another freaking
the top
logo.
5 will another logo. So no, you should have one of those. Somewhere.
No, because I redid all the logos since we ran with them, so I got to redo that one too.
Yeah, well, I still wanted those the web page, the front page. So all those placeholders need. I told you that about 2 weeks ago, but you've done nothing. So, anyways, thanks to everybody for a great season, and with winter coming on, the league's only going to get stronger because everybody needs an outlet. So. Thanks again. Look forward to seeing everybody out on the track, and it's just a great community.
Yeah, make sure you check out the logos.
Check out the logos.
All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you back here again next week. But I didn't know that name, but when I was reading that post about the trailer being for sale. Terry, you need to take that.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on one second.
All right, we'll take a break for a second. I'll be right back with Terry for the second half of the interview.
There we go.
Oh, okay. Well, no, that's all right.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
She wants to say goodnight.
And just so everybody knows, Terry is on the West Coast. So while it might be 11 o'clock here, his grandbaby's not up way too late there.
Yeah, it's
Well, that was great talking to Steve Jr. Finally, because we wanted to do that for a little while to see that you're a dickhead. Always great to, we hear Terry all the time, but we don't get to see him visually.
Roger, I thought I was bringing it back in.
Okay.